It's the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. We come to you this evening after a devastating Knicks loss to the Sixers. There will be a Game 6, and the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. Just when it looked, with a timeout on the floor and 29 seconds left in the Garden, and the Knicks with a 6-point lead after Brunson found McBride for that 14-foot jumper that we all thought would ice the game. We are here now after a Knicks overtime loss. Maxey's heroics, unbelievable. A terrible judgment play by Robinson to jump out on a three-point shooter. Makes no sense at that point to do that. 4-point play. He makes the free throw. Knicks had free throws they could make, obviously, down the stretch. They don't make the free throws. Hart makes one of two. And then Maxey, Knicks don't decide to foul. Maxey comes up in the final 15 seconds and hits not a long three, an outrageous three, a 35-foot three. And Brunson gets his shot blocked as time expires, and we go to overtime. We saw what happened in overtime. We saw the Knicks jump out, and usually the team that scores first has a big advantage. We saw some crazy plays by Maxey. We saw Embiid make a very big play, a couple of big plays, as a matter of fact. The Knicks got back into it on the flagrant foul, which I thought was a bad call. Listen, I can't figure out with these guys what's a flagrant foul and what's not anymore. When I think it's a flagrant foul, it's not. When I don't think it's a flagrant foul, when I thought he was playing to block the shot, I mean, that to me is not a deliberate shot there. I mean, I understand Embiid's been dirty at times, but not at that time of the game. To give a team another possession there, I'm dead set against it unless it's really something outrageous. Brunson, of course, made the three. He had some iffy plays in overtime, including the pass to Hartenstein, which made no sense. I mean, nobody thought that was going to happen. Made absolutely no sense. But they ran into a Sixer team that tonight, let's be honest, got a brilliant and nothing short of brilliant performance from Maxey. That wasn't a good playoff performance. That's an all-time playoff performance. 51 minutes, 46 points. Scoring 7 points in the overtime to bring your team back. I mean, just an incredible, incredible performance from Maxey tonight. 46 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, played 51 minutes. I know people want to get on Embiid because he only scored 19 points and he had 9 turnovers, but he did have a triple-double. He did play 47 minutes somehow, and he's diving on the floor for rebounds in the final 20 seconds. He blocked shots, made his presence felt, made some big plays, knocked down a couple of big free throws, made a couple of big baskets, and wound up with 19 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists. And you know what? Almost all mere mortal players would take that. A guy playing on one leg, if you're not happy with that game, well, then you know what? You're really expecting a lot out of somebody because he didn't have a scoring night for the first time in this series, and he did turn the ball over way too much, but he gave them 47 minutes. He had 16 rebounds. He had 4 blocks. He changed shots. He played his heart out. It wasn't great, but he played his heart out. What they got tonight, though, is they got a big performance from Harris, including 2 huge free throws late, 19 points on 7 of 11 shooting, made his free throws. Oubre gave him 14 points, and he gave him plenty of hustle. And I thought they got a big performance out of Batum, both ends of the floor. 8 points, but some big plays, some big defensive plays, some keeping the plays alive with some rebounds. He had 8 points. He had 8 rebounds. I thought he gave them some life and some big minutes. So I thought they got it from Batum. They got it from Harris. And, of course, they got an all-time performance out of Maxey. So where are we now? Where we are is, let's be honest, the Knicks are very fortunate to be up in this series. The Sixers have had big leads in every game of this series. The only game that's been won going away, they won. They easily could be up 3-2 now going back to Philly. And for them to gut this game out tonight says a lot about who they are. And you get the idea that this series is just destined to go 7 games. You can just see this series with 2 minutes left, anybody's series in Game 7. The scary part of this for the Knicks is if you bring Embiid, and now you have to include Maxey in that because of what he's done in this series. You bring those guys into that game for a Game 7. You don't know what's going to happen. Embiid could go off with a 45, 50-point performance in that Game 7. He's capable of that. We know how talented he is. For one game, he might find it. Yeah, he's dragging. But you know what? He has given a lot in this series. He's tried to give it everything he has. And that's all you can ask out of a player right now. Was this pretty tonight? No, it wasn't. And he needed to get some help from his friends, and he did. Maxey gave him an all-world performance. He got it from Harris. He got it from Batum. He got it from Oubre. And the Knicks got their scoring performance from Brunson. I thought OG had a terrific game. I thought Hart gave you what you usually get out of Hart, especially at home, effort baskets, 18 points, 9 rebounds. Really terrific. I thought McBride came off the bench and gave them a big 14 points. Remember, Bogdanovich is gone for the series, for the season now. Robinson, I thought, gave them some good minutes. He played some good defense. Okay, he's not going to give you much on the offensive end. You know that. He gave them 7 rebounds. He had some defensive plays, some steals, some blocks. I thought from that standpoint, he did some very, very good things. It wasn't that the Knicks didn't give you effort. It's that they didn't give you execution when they had to. And when they had a 6-point lead, they have got to now treat Maxey the way both teams are treating Embiid and treating Brunson, which means do everything you can to get the ball out of their hands in the final minutes of these shot clocks. Don't play him straight up, because if you play him straight up, the guy's got an advantage. Embiid does, Brunson does, Maxey does. Maxey, as I talked about, you cannot give him easy access. In the overtime, the Knicks gave him easy access. In the end of regulation, they gave him easy access to go take threes. And, hey, this guy, he wants the ball. He wants to take these shots. He wants to be that kind of player, and he has arrived. He arrived during the season, and now he has arrived as a bona fide star in this league. That was a star performance. That was a brilliant performance tonight. I mean, you can't be any more clutch than he was in this game. He was sensational in this game. Nothing short. Absolutely nothing short. And the one difference was, although it was not a game where Embiid got to the foul line and he missed 4 of 6, and the Sixers missed foul shots tonight. They missed 16. They only made 13 and 19, but they hit their free throws when they had to, and the Knicks missed some free throws that really, really hurt them. Hurt them in regulation, hurt them throughout, and that turned out to be really, really tough. And hey, you know, the overtime, you know, you got some weird plays in there. You got that weird play that ended with a couple of freaky layups, some weird baskets. The ball was bouncing all over the place. Um, again, Harris making those 2 free throws that put him up 4 was absolutely huge. It was a strange game in a lot of different ways. It was a very odd game. There were a lot of odd possessions. The ball was bouncing all over the place. It was getting tipped here and pushed ahead here and going there, and this guy scoring off that. It was kind of an odd game in that regard. And you got 2 guys scoring a lot of points. I mean, Brunson scored 40 and Maxey scored 46. I mean, those are crazy performances. And you got a lot of guys logging minutes in this game too. I mean, Maxey logging 51, Harris logging 49, Embiid logging 47, Hart playing 53, OG playing 50, Brunson playing 50. I mean, a lot of guys logging a lot of minutes in this ball game. And it would have been a really tough loss for Philly. It would have been a tough loss to go out on. It's a tough loss for the Knicks to have to go play this game 6 because you could kind of sense that celebratory mood in the building when McBride came across, made that 3, taking the pass from Brunson, made that 2, making the pass from Brunson to put him up 6, only 29 on the clock. And next thing you know, Maxey's making a 4-point play. And they're right back in the game. So, tough loss. Now, you look at this from the Philly standpoint. They know they can win the series. They know they can play the Knicks. They had a game stolen, which they gave away. They have had leads in every game. Maxey has arrived as a bona fide star. They have Embiid. So they believe that they can win, and they know they can win in New York because they should have won Game 2, and they came up here and just won Game 5. So before the series started, I thought it would be a 7-game series. I thought this was a game where the Knicks might be able to close it out tonight. And I thought that if they didn't, it's going to be a hard closeout. This is going to be a very tough finish to this series. And I do think we're going 7 games now. It's been a hell of a series. For a first-round series, the intensity has been at a conference final level. Especially the games in the Garden because the crowd is really alive. Really alive. And it's been a series with crazy twists and turns in these games. You know, they go up and make a run. Knicks come back with an 18-2 run. Then Philly comes back with another run. And then they come back with another run. And it's gone back and forth and back and forth. And it's been that kind of series with a lot of strange twists and turns, some really high-scoring performances. So, I mean, tonight we saw really something special out of Maxey. That was, you talk about saving a season. I mean, he put that team on his back, completely on his back, and kept them alive. I mean, they're going their way back to Philly, getting ready for a Game 6 because of Maxey. Embiid gave you what he had tonight. It wasn't always pretty. 9 turnovers. 4 shooting from the floor. Didn't get to the foul line for the first time in this series. For the first time in this series, he didn't operate offensively with any real execution. He didn't look like the star player on offense tonight. But he fought, and he banged, and he hustled, and he dove on the floor, and he got assists, and he got rebounds, and he somehow gave you 47 minutes, which is a hell of a performance. It really is. Now, he just logged a lot of minutes. That game is a quick turnaround. It's Thursday night. And then 2 days later, it's back in the Garden for a Game 7. So he's not getting any more extra rest. You wonder what's left in that body. The one thing is you don't want to test them in a seventh game because they've already shown you they have the guile, they have the mental toughness, and they have the players in their big two to win a Game 7 in the Garden. They could do that. Now, winning a Game 7 on the road is never easy in the NBA. And we're not there yet. The Knicks have a free game to play with first. And they might turn around and win Game 6, and we don't even, it's a moot point. But, you get a feeling sometimes about series that it just seems like it's going to go the distance and be decided in those last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter in Game 7. That kind of series. It's been a heck of a series. It really has. Not always pretty, but dramatic and intense, with guys giving you everything they have, and, they're banging, they're smacking each other around. They're giving you everything they have. Hart gives you everything he has. OG gives you everything he has. Embiid is giving you whatever's in that body of his. And Maxey, that performance tonight was scary. Nothing short. Nothing short. And those two last threes in regulation, that's the stuff of legends. It really is. That was just an incredible. A 4-point play. You're down 6, you make a 4-point play, they make 1 or 2, and you knock down a 35-foot three. And they still needed a block on Brunson to get overtime. So, this series, which it looked like you were talking about a couple of evenly matched teams going in, and it has been every bit of that through 5 games. As we go back to Philly for a Game 6 Thursday night. Tough, Philly had to get over Game 2. And then they had to come up here, stave off elimination, and get over Game 4. They were down 6 with 29 seconds left. They were staring into the abyss. And Maxey led them back into the series. If the Knicks didn't know they had their hands full, they know it now. And I think they knew it anyway. So, hey, no one ever said it was going to be easy. Tonight, everyone showed up at the Garden looking for a celebration, looking to pop the corks on round 1 and get on to round 2. Not so fast. There's some more basketball to be played. Maybe a lot more basketball to be played. So, a brutal overtime loss. And if you're on the other side of it, a dramatic, amazing overtime win for the Sixers tonight. Just means a more dramatic week is in front of us. And hey, it's everything you could ask for. And if, this is what the playoffs are about. A lot of these series have either lacked competitiveness or lacked drama or lacked intensity. This one has had everything you could want. 4 out of 5 games, right to the wire. Big swings. Philly with at least a 9-point lead in every single game in this series, and they're still down 3 games to 2. and a classic comeback from 6 down. I mean, the Knicks stole game 2 when they were out of it, and Philly comes back and returns the favor, down 6 with 29 seconds left. They come back and win it in overtime. So we got a game 6 on Thursday. We'll preview it Thursday morning. We'll then be on with it after game 6, either getting ready for a game 7 or getting ready for the next round. Now, elsewhere, you know that the Bucks might win tonight, but they don't have their guys. And it doesn't look like they're getting them back. I mean, that's just, what are you going to do? You're going to rely on Middleton and Portis tonight, see if they can keep you alive. Maybe Portis won't punch anybody. The Magic are being more stubborn than probably anybody thought against Cleveland. And the Islanders, who came back from 3-1 down and tied that series, tied the game at 3, then finally succumbed to the Hurricanes 6-3. So we'll be getting into the Rangers and the Hurricanes, and a few Ranger fans, I know this is, a series that you're going to have to hold on tight, because this one is going to be probably everything you can want and more. I mean, a lot of people think that Carolina is a team to beat. Some people think the Rangers are the team to beat. And now we get ready as they are right in front of each other after the Hurricanes finished off the Islanders in 5. So also, Derby, some hockey, Game 6 and maybe a Game 7 on a Saturday. Could be a big Saturday. Could be a Game 7 for the Knicks and the Derby. So a very big Saturday, as a matter of fact. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network.